Welcome to Analytics with Nags. I'm happy and excited to introduce the end-to-end data factory fundamentals video. The end-to-end playlist was successful earlier. I'm restarting with data factory now. So what to expect as part of this video? You will learn Azure data factory and what it is, where you can use it, prerequisite of it, how to configure it, and practical demos. So I have a detailed video on what this tool does. For now, in order to understand it, what is Azure Data Factory? It is the ETL or ELT or data ingestion or orchestration tool in the cloud Azure platform. So that's it. And once you learn this tool, where and all you can able to apply. You can use it as part of a standalone tool for your ingestion, or it is part of the Synapse, you can see here, and you can use it as part of the Fabric environment as well. I hope you will enjoy this video by learning a tool in a single video. What is Data Factory? So it is a cloud-based ETL tool, that is extract, transform, and load. And data integration service. This is considered as a data integration service that allows you to create data-driven workflows for orchestrating data movement. Meaning, like if I decode this sentence, basically you will create a workflows, like workflow in the sense, as I said, you will create a source and you will do some set of transformation and you will load it. This is the workflow. Then you will orchestrate it. Let's say, like if this is failed, send email. If it is succeed, do some other pipeline. These kind of orchestration also can be handled in this tool. This is all about the data integration and orchestration. And transforming a data at scale. So whether you are loading a small amount of data or it's a large, it doesn't matter, it will auto scale. Earlier, when we used to work in certain on-premise, there can be a failures because it cannot scale. It will fail due to memory issues or other related stuffs. But Data Factory, I never find issues related to huge volume. So this is auto scale. And you can schedule the data pipelines. So once you define the rules and pipelines, you can schedule this pipeline to run hourly, daily, or monthly, whatever your requirement is. This is the whole purpose of the Data Factory, and how this is fit in the data warehouse architecture. Let's try to understand. So basically, this is the architecture of data warehouse or BI, business intelligence. We can say like modern data warehouse or business intelligence in the cloud. What is the process? We have sources, that is data resides in different sources. You cannot analyze the data because some data here, some data over here, you need to query, you cannot query it, it is more costly. You should not disturb the operating systems. A lot of restrictions are there. So that is the whole purpose of this analytics system, where you will not disturb your source system. You will do the movement of your data. You take a copy and load it into target. So taking from the source and loading it over here, in between, if you require, there can be transformations, and that is called ETL, extract, transform, and load. And where there is no transformation, you just extract and load it in a raw format. That is called extract, load, and then while reading it, right, you take the data, while reading it, you do certain transformation. Then it is called ELT. So there is no big difference. Whatever it is, you use the same tool, whether you do the ETL or ELT. So you can do both using this Data Factory. So you will extract it. In this case, assume you are just loading it, and then you are, while loading into storage, that is Azure Synapse Analytics, you are doing a transformation. So this Data Factory used as a ETL tool here. Then you have analysis that will read from a storage account, Azure Synapse Analytics, and Power BI visualization. Most of the process over here, that is each stage, is optional, because Instead of storage account, some companies can use the Azure SQL database as the data warehouse. Instead of analysis service, they can directly use the Power BI from the ingestion storage blob from the data warehouse they newly built or Azure Synapse Analytics. So it is not the typical architecture or a strict architecture every company will follow. That is the point I just want to highlight. So coming back to Data Factory, this is the whole purpose here. That is, it does the extract, transform, and load. And we will try to see in upcoming videos how this is transformation is done, what are the prerequisites of creating connections and loading into target, all other stuffs in our upcoming videos. So in order to practice along with me while I am demonstrating, you should know certain Azure fundamentals. So you can check it out in my channel, that is Azure Basics. I'll share the link as well. Or you should have Azure subscriptions. Like if you are already working in an organization and you have Azure account and you can able to work on Azure portal, then you can use it. If you are a student or you don't have any Azure credentials, just sign up to Azure portal and have given how to create your free account using I mentioned it in this video. So just utilize this video contents. I will provide it in the descriptions, the Azure fundamentals as well as the Azure portal sign up. So that's it. Let's try to move on to our Azure portal. So I'm into Azure portal now, and you can see portal.azure.com, and once you click on Data Factory, I don't have any Data Factory right now, so go ahead and click on create Data Factory. I have Azure subscription now, and I have resource group created. So if you don't have one, just create new, just provide the name and click next, you will get the resource group. So that is why I told, if you're not aware of what is subscription, resource group, all these things I have mentioned are you can learn in the Azure fundamentals or Azure basics playlist. That's why I told you should learn that. Then I can provide the name here, AWN demo data factory, and I'm currently in Dubai, so I should get UAE. It's better to create wherever we are. And that's it. So there are a lot of other options. We will check these options later. So I will just going to create as such with the default options. Let's try to see. That's it. So once you click on create, your Data Factory is available for you. Once we launch it, let's try to launch. I think it's in deployment phase. That's it. Your deployment is complete. You can either go from here, or once you created, you go to here. Once you click on it, you can see Data Factory available here. Earlier there is nothing was there. There is a prompt like create new. Now I can get Data Factory. Once you click on it, another blade, you see at the bottom Launch Studio. That's it. So we are ready to start our working experience in the Azure Data Factory. I hope you data analytics world. So what we are going to do today, we have data in the storage blob and we need to load it into our database. This is a simple scenario, and all over the internet you will see the same example. This is because once you know the fundamentals, you can achieve any other complex scenarios. So coming to fundamentals, what you need. So in my previous video in the introduction, I have shared what are the steps to create Azure Data Factory. So I hope that is done by this time while you are watching this video. Then once we launch our data factory, in order to connect to any source, we need these two components, that is link service, that is connecting to the entire component. Let's say we have a storage account. Storage account can be connected to the link services. Then for referring a single table or a piece of information, you need a data set. So these two are prerequisite for the source. How about target? Target has the same. You need to create a link service to connect to the target. Then you need to create a data set. These two things are created separately. Once you have done, then you need to create one activity. What activity it is? You need to take a data from here and load it into this target. That is the activity. Where you will create that activity, you will create inside the pipeline. So basically the hierarchy flows like this. We have a pipeline created as a first step. Inside that pipeline you can have activity, which is nothing but it can be many transformations or many activities you can do. We will start with the copy activity where these two things are created prior. Then you can do your data movement in a simple way. This is what we are going to see as part of this video. This channel contains a free content that covers Power BI, MS BI, SQL fundamentals and Azure fundamentals. Please utilize this free content, share this channel with your friends and colleagues. Let's begin. So for us to do this exercise, I have already stored some files in the Azure blob storage. You can see it here. There is product and V2 sales data. And right now we are going to create SQL Server as well. So I don't have SQL Server database. Let's try to create in few minutes so that we can proceed. So in SQL Server database, or you can type SQL database. Once you type SQL database, there are a lot of options to create. Click on SQL database, then select a resource group you already created, enter the database name. I could say like staging DB, and I will prefix with AWN. And then you need to create a server as well. Server takes certain time. AWN demo. Then you can choose UAE. How you want to authenticate, authentication method. You can use the SQL authentication here, and usually the server admin should be AWN. It could be SA as well. I just use a simple password for now. And what is the purpose of your server? You can use the development, locally redundant, review and create. So this is the cost. It's going to happen for a month. If it's okay for you, then create the database. Now you are creating the SQL server. Now along with the server, it also creating the database as well. So now you can see the database along with the servers are created. We can quickly check database, SQL database. Just press refresh here because sometimes it will not appear immediately. Yes, you can see here AWN staging database. Now we have our files ready here as well as this server existing. Let's go on to the data factory. Let's launch this data factory that we created in our previous video. We are launching for the very first time. Let's see how it looks like. So it is once it launched, it will be a very clean, I mean nothing will be present right now. So you have copy data at scale, orchestrate, transform data, all other things you can able to perform. We will see one by one later. Now first things first, let me show you what other things exist. You can see here pipeline, change data capture, data sets, data flow, Power Query, all other options over here. As I said before, what we are going to do, we are going to move from one place to another. Let's try to follow those steps. First things first, let's create a link service. Our data source data resides in Azure Data Lake Storage 2. So I already mentioned the difference in our basic videos. You can watch about that. Now you can choose the subscription and storage account name and then create. Now you are connecting, right? You are connecting to this link service to the storage account directly. So that is fair enough for you to create the link service for the Azure Data Lake. I can also create a link service for SQL database as well, Azure SQL database. Click on continue. You can name it like staging LS. Then you can select your subscription name, database name, and you used SQL authentication. You provide the name, AWN, and password that we just now provided. Then you can test the connection. It should be tested properly. You can see because AWN database connection was denied due to public network access is set to yes. Demonstration purpose, you choose selected networks, public access, that is come to security, networking. Initially it will be disabled. Selected networks, allow Azure services to access this server. This should be the exceptions. Once you choose this, now you can allow the Azure services to connect to this server. Now when you go and test it, now you can see the issue is fixed. This is the issue I want you to face, because while creating you might have missed it, how you can resolve this error. So let's create. Now you got the Azure SQL database as well as data lake link services. Now it's time for us to create a data set for the Azure storage account. Now come to your storage account, continue. It is stored in delimited, continue. Now you can choose your link service that you created, right? Now here, either if you know the path you can type it here, otherwise there is option to browse. Our files are stored in source files, and this is the file I'm going to load as a very first thing. So source files, and then v2 sales data. This is where our data is stored. Now I created data set for the source. Let me name it as source underscore dataset. Now I need to create the data set for the target. My target resides in SQL server, SQL database, Azure SQL database. Click on connect, link services that we created just now, and I need to choose a table. It's optional one, you can ignore it for now. Just click on OK. So just you have created empty dataset here. Now you have a Azure SQL table and source dataset. That's it. Now these prerequisites are done. As we seen here, the first step and the second step is done. Now we need to create this activity. So where this activity exists, this is exist inside this pipeline. So we need to create the pipeline. So click on the three dots, click on pipeline, then you will get the screen here. So you can see there are a lot of activities that you can perform. Today we are going to perform the copy data. So once you use this, what are the things you see here in the copy data? You have a name, activity state, all other stuffs, and two important things over here, that is source and sink. In source, the parameters it requires is source data set. That is what we created in the just before step. So source, this is source ds, that is CSV file. So as soon as you choose, you can see a lot of options available over here. File path in dataset, or you have list of files. These things will come to know, because if the file path is a folder, then you can look through all of the stuffs, those kind of stuffs, right? For now we have pointed to the direct file. Now there is another pop-up here, sink. Sink is always the target. So if you are familiar with your SSIS background, then you might have familiar with this, what I'm trying to achieve right now. So source, instead of target, we call it as a sink. So sink, we choose the Azure SQL DB, and here I'm going to auto create this table. This table doesn't exist, so I will auto create. So once you choose this, and if you have any pre-copy script, like I want to delete before loading, all other steps we will do it later. For this demo I will skip everything right now. Then you want to add additional columns over here, then you can do it. So these are the other options over here, we will check it out later. For now we are done with our configuration. Let's rename it as we need to rename it in general. Instead of copy data, I will say sales data. That's it. Now it's time for us to debug. So I will tell you the difference. The debug, without saving, you can run and test your code, and once you are saved and publish, you can also able to trigger it. Let's try to debug right now. A table, okay, there is a validation error here. It says there is no table exist. So we need desperately some table over here. For that we need to create one table. So we can also do like this, dbo, or just put some sample table name. It will not validate basically. Let's say sale data. So just a name is enough. And again, right now I'm coming back to here, the pipeline. Let's do debug. Now what is happening? It is trying to load this table from your source to target. When you see here, you can see the output, it is queued and all other stuffs are happening, and we can see what is happening here. That's it. So now it's time for us to log in and check the database, whether the data is loaded or not. Let's try to log in. So there are different ways you can able to query. Right now I am trying to use the tool that is available in the Azure itself. So you can see here we have sales data, and we can query this. So this table has been loaded right now. What I'm going to do right now is I will delete this data right now. Truncate table dbo dot, and let me run this query. Now when I select this, I don't get any results. So now I have this pipeline ready, right? Now I'm running it again. So this pipeline is running. Now we are loading this data once again, and we can go back and check this table. Yes, now we got the data again in our target. So quick recap what we did. So we already had files in the storage account, and we created SQL Server because we don't have one, and we created SQL Server and the database. Then we created in the data factory, we created link services and dataset for the storage account, and we created link services and dataset for the SQL table. Then we created activity inside a pipeline. That activity takes one of the file from the storage account and loaded into a table inside the SQL server. This is what we did. So it is clear right now. And when I need to load another table, that is the question right now. So when I need to create another table, whether I need to create all the things again, what are the shared features? So what I can see is, like, if you see in this example, which is specific to the table, this dataset and target dataset, as well as the activity. Activity is for the single table. Then if I need to load another table, I need another activity too, because the activity uses the parameters, right? I need the dataset and other dataset. For doing the activity 2, that is another table copy, I need another data set. So this is what we want to do it right now. So other things are shared, like link service is specific to the server, link service source is specific to the storage account. That we can use the same existing one. Even this pipeline. So inside the pipeline, we are going to create another activity to load into another table. Let's try to do that so that you will understand the difference. So now we have this single copy data. Now let me do it slightly different way. I will take a copy activity again. Now once you click on it, there will be a lot of options at the below. Initially, while you are working, there will be a lot of glitches how you can navigate. Once you click, what it pops up, it will come in practice. So I click on product, I renamed as product, then source. So I should not choose the existing ones, right? Existing one for the sales data. Now I will create a data set for the product. So it is storage account. Oh my bad. So send to storage, delimited, continue, link service. I can choose the existing one, go back, files, product. There you go. Now I created the data set for the another table, that is product table. So I will say product underscore dataset. That's it. Come back. So I can publish whenever I want. Fix publish. Okay, I need to have that pipeline completed, then only it will work. So sync Okay, now I can go and edit this one, enter manually DBO product. At that time it will throw validation, that's fine. Now let's publish. So now we have created the data sets. Right now when you click on this blade, you can see here pipelines and data sets. You have 4 data sets. One is product data sets, that is from Azure data block. Let me rename it properly, like sales storage account SA data source, data set. And here it should be product, and this is from SA dataset. This is product underscore SQL dataset. These namings are very important while doing implementing a project. Sales data, you can skip it if it's too boring, but for project wise I am doing it. Now it is very clear item. So this renaming automatically reflect in your the activities you have referred. Now you can see here, this is for the sales data, this is for the product data. We'll go and check, is there any table named product here? It will not be there. So once I run both the things, right, then it will create this table and reload all the data in the sales data. Product has failed. The reason is obvious. Let's try to check. I think the table does not exist. Table, okay, the product cannot access destination because we didn't give that option here, like auto create table. If it does not exist, it will auto create. That is the option we need to give. And let's debug again. It's queued. Remember that this table is not cleared in every run. So let's say in source you have 1000 records. Each time you run in target, if you run 3 times, it will become 3000 records. It will keep on amend your records whenever you run. That's it. Now both the things are succeed. Let's go and check here. Earlier when I showed there is no table, right now you have a table here. Instead of this, I've used the product here. Now you got the data. I hope you understand what we are trying to achieve here. The fundamentals of data factory resides on all these factors. You need to have a link service, you need to have data sets, and you need to create a pipeline to copy the data. In upcoming videos we will see all other options and data flows, when to use it, and any other options which is useful in your data engineering. Video we're going to see about what is data flows in Azure Data Factory, how you are going to implement it. Let's try to check it out as part of this video. So data flows, the definition is are visually designed data transformation. Basically when you talk about data analytics and BI, we all say like ETL, right? So data factory is all about ETL, and this data flow actually does that data transformation. So this allows data engineers to develop data transformation logic without writing a code. This is very important. You don't need to write any code over here. In data factory and inside the data flows, while you're doing a transformation, you need to use certain drag and drop options, and you can perform the GUI itself. That is the core advantage of Microsoft as well as this tool. And data flows are executed as activities within the Azure Data Factory pipelines. Even this we are going to say it. Basically once you define the data flows, Then you can call this data flow inside your pipelines for execution. That is the whole flow that we are going to see as a demo today. So what we are going to do today, we have one CSV file in a storage account which we can consider it as unclean data. We will do certain transformation, like we combine two columns and we select only few columns out of it from the product. Then we will store it in the product clean inside the another folder in the storage block. That is what we are going to do today. So we will see the files first. Right now we are in a storage account where we can see the containers, and inside the containers we have two folders here, source files. So let me show product file. We have a product and you can see the name, category name, parent brand, cost, price and tax. What we are going to do it here, we will combine the category name and parent brand and we will rename it as new category name. Then we will ignore this tax column. So the final output will be name, new category name, brand and cost price. This is what the kind of transformation we are trying to perform. So what we need here, once we take this file and transform it, then we'll load it inside this process folder. That is what we are going to do. And let's go to our data factory. So I have designed already a data flow. Try to create the new data flow. So in order to create a data flow, click on new data flow. Now I will walk you through what are the things. This is the graph area and this is the parameters or the properties area, where you can see here it always starts with the source. So basically data flow's purpose is to get the data from the source and do the transformation. So let's try to pick up one source. Our source, as you already aware in our previous video, we have a link service created, we have a data set created. We can use the same data set. So once you create your data set, you can use it either in the pipeline or in multiple data flows. That is the concept. So let's add a source. Our source is nothing but a data set which is product SA, that is storage account data set, right? We have choose this one. I will walk you through all these options in later video because each option requires some definition and we need some explanations to do. So for simplicity right now I will just choose the data set, that is product SA. Then just go for default options here, projections. You see all the columns that are available, name, category name, parent name, cost, everything was there. Then optimize, inspect, data preview. Don't do anything right now, just you have configured the source here. Now you can see here there is a plus symbol in each step, right? This is the first step. Now you can add next. When you click on plus, what transformation you are going to do. So these are the different transformations like join, and in the schema modifier, derived column, select, aggregate, surrogate key, and you have a filters and sort and other destination. I mean, while you are finally loading, you need to use the sync. So this is the different types of transformations. Only these kind of transformations you can perform in the data flow. Now we will go for derived column here. So we will do all other transformations in later part of the videos. For you to understand, to kickstart, we will use the simple transformation, that is derived column. So I have added derived column. Now I click on this. Now in derived column, just click on it and go and expand this. Now what you are going to do, I'm going to add a new column, right? So let me add, okay, already you have a column here. I will rename it as I said, category new. Okay, category new. And expression. What is expression? If you know the expression, you can write, otherwise you can open this, open expression builder. Once you click on this, I just want to combine those two columns, right? For that, I have these columns over here started appearing. Okay, so I said category name, I need to concatenate. Okay, and then parent brand, whether this plus, right, along with this plus, it can be plus or ampersand, even I'm not sure about the syntaxes. Let's try to explore it. Okay, so either it should be plus or ampersand symbol for adding the two columns. So in order to differentiate between the category name and parent brand, I'm adding the hyphen in between. So let's save and finish. So this is what the kind of transformation, it is one kind of transformation basically. Okay, then you can use these options. As I said, I will explain it to you later. Then this is what we have right now. So we have derived this column, right? This is one transformation we did. So either one so what output it will behave right now is like, let's say you have this data. Now along with the 5 columns, you will also have a 6th column. Okay, 6th column you will have with the new, see, you can see 6 columns, total is 6 columns. So that will have additional column with all the records. Now as I said, another transformation I want to make, which is nothing but I want to select only few columns there. So there is a select transformation. This will minimize or remove unnecessary columns. As I said, I don't want the tax price. I combined already these two into new category new. So I don't want these two as well. So select whichever you don't require, then click on delete. So now my product table contains product name, new category name, as well as the cost price. That's it. If you want to change the order, you can change it. This is how you need to change. So now this is one of the another transformation. So you have a source file, you can have multiple transformation as such. You can keep on adding until you get the required output. So now I'm fine with all the transformations. Now I can add it to the destination. So my destination is my sink. You can sync it here. So in this sink, I have created another data set, that is product SA clean. Okay, this I haven't created yesterday. So this is nothing, same like you create for product SA. So let me show you one. Maybe I will create one more for you. So new data set, then this stores in the storage account gen2. Click on continue. I'm going to store again in a CSV. So click on CSV and link service associated location and browse. I'm going to store it here, that is process folder. Click on OK. I don't have any subfolders. I just use the file name as product underscore clean. Okay, this is my file name. Then click on OK. It says like path doesn't found. It's okay. You can ignore this for now. You can click on OK right now. If you provide the name right now, okay, product underscore clean, this is fine. So anyway you created the file delimited, so it will be fine. So now what happens, this delimited, I will name it as product underscore storage account underscore clean 2. Okay, it's a data set, so data set, that's it. Now I can publish this. Yeah, I cannot publish because in your data flow, right, you are designing a data flow, you need to configure it. Unless some objects you are properly configuring, it will not allow. So now I need to choose the data set here. I come to data flows, I choose the new data set that created clean 2. That's it. Now this sync is also created, that is from my product. I derived one column, then I selecting only 3 columns and then syncing into a new target. All these options we will check it later. So that's all. We have configured the data flows. Let's try to publish. So this is as simple as that. Now how you can run this data flows, we have different ways to run. We will go for the conventional way. Like we have one pipeline, then in that pipeline we will call this data flow. Let me delete this. So create one new pipeline that we have already created. If you don't know, if you're watching for the first time, create new pipeline. That's it. It will create a new pipeline. You can see in move and transform you have two options. Yesterday we checked about copy data. We will try to differentiate between these two, the pipeline and data flow, all other stuffs. For now, how you can call this data flow? Go to pipeline, create pipeline, then transform data flows. Now you need to choose the data flow you created. It will drop down. Now we have created, this is the data flow 1. Okay, let me rename it properly, that is product clean demo. Now once you come here, product clean demo, that's it. So we have this data flow now, and I can call it as product. Now we have this pipeline ready. This pipeline purpose is to clean the product. Now even I can call this pipeline as product. So product pipeline will call the product clean demo data flow. So obviously we need to name properly whatever you have kept. That's fine for now. So once you are configured this, now we need to publish. What's the error? Okay, this has yesterday we had this pipeline. I can remove this. It's okay. Publishing. Now everything is fine. It will be deployed. Now you can quickly check the storage account, how it looks like. Storage account, we already seen the source files. Let's go and check the target right now, processed. We don't have any files right now. There is some success file here. Let's try to run. Everything I'm doing it right now in the debug mode. So it will take a while because right now it is starting the clusters in the debug mode. So we need to start this data flow debug first, then we can initiate the debug now. Once you click on this, now the actual data flow runs, which takes the data from the one place in the storage account and loads into the target storage account. It's very small amount of data, but it takes quite long time. Let's see what it does. You can see what is the status. It's in queue actually. So it runs in the server, right, on the cluster actually. Okay, now you can see the pipelines as well. The pipeline also succeeded. Let's go and check our files here. Processed, where you get the file here, and you can check the output here. Name, category, new, cost price. Only 3 columns we have got, and you can see those 2 columns are combined. That is category and a brand is combined. then you got the new column here. So we achieved one quick transformation as part of this video. In upcoming videos we will explore a lot more options in the data transformation. Going to talk about different transformations inside data flows. What are those transformations? Trim, join and filter. Let's try to check it out as part of this video. So what are we going to do today? We have a storage blob and we have two files there, sales and product, and we are going to perform this transformation, trim, join and filter. I will tell you why we are using trim and what I am going to do here, and filter it. Basically we have a sales data here and we also have a product data separated. In the sales data we have a product column, and in the product we all have some other column, let's say like parent brand. So we need to bring this parent brand in the sales data. We will try to show it in the demo what I'm trying to achieve. And then this sales data contains a lot of location data, Chennai, Bangalore and other things. What I need is, I need only the Chennai sales along with the product attribute, that is parent brand combined. So these are the different transformations I need to do to achieve this target. Let's try to do this, and we will store this data output in another storage blob as a processed file. This channel contains a free content that contains a Power BI, MSBI and fundamentals of Azure and SQL Server, along with this data factory playlist as well. Please utilize this free content, share this channel with your friends and colleagues. Let's begin. So as I said before, what we are going to do today, we have source files, that is sales and product. Let me open sales. You can see here the sales data contains all the sales information, and one of the field called product, you can see the product here. And in this sales information you can see Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, different locations data. And assume there is someone from Chennai head, he calls and asks he needs a Chennai information alone along with the product parent brand, right? This is the product we have, that is item name, and this is the category. He needs another extra information like parent brand. Where that information exists, that information exists in the product table. So if you see here, product table, so parent brand information is available, that is Levi's, unbranded, Peter England kind of. So this is the data we have for product, and we also have the data for sales. So we will combine the product information in the sales and get only the parent brand here. Now when I initially explored, right, when I did that, I found one issue here. The item name contains a space. If you see here, the item name here, this is a space here, jeans Levi's and jeans Levi's. So this will not match when you join with the product information. So we need to trim it. That is what we need to do the transformation. Then after trimming we can join with this column. So you can see jeans Levi's here, so you can join with the column. So this is the overall idea about what we are trying to achieve it today. Let's try to check it out. Now going back to data factory, I'm going to create the transformation. So I will create a new data flow, add the source as my sales data, that is sales SA, that is storage account data set, and that's it. Now I need to add another source here, that is my product SA underscore data set, that is storage account dataset. I have added it. Now, as I said before, I have explored the option earlier in the what you call in the sales data. We have some issues in the product, so I need to clean it. So how to clean that column? I have an option called derived column. So again, it is a derived column. In our previous example, we have used the derived column for some other purpose. Right now we are using for cleaning the data. Now I need to choose the item name, and what I need is open explosion. Now there is an option you can search like a trim like this. I know there is a function ltrim, so I will start typing it, ltrim, which is nothing but the left hand side trim. And the column name, I know, like when you press the column name like this, maybe you can press the input schema here, that is item name. So this is the syntax. Even you can amend ltrim and rtrim also, or trim. And there is a function available with trim. I'm not sure if I can use that directly, but I prefer to use ltrim or trim if the trim is not working properly. So this is the syntax. So what it will do, it will replace that item name properly with this item name. Now once it is done, and in the source 2, right, I can add the join now, because I cleaned that data, that is trimmed it. Now I'm going to add the join here, and I will configure the join. The first I will do the inner join. I'll go for item name here, that is that item name, and I need to choose the right stream. See, this is the left stream, that is the first tuple join, and the right stream is nothing but source 2. Source 2 is nothing but our product information. Okay, so that is what you can properly rename it. Now I use the inner join. This is not the session for you to explain the joins. There will be, I will add the code here to understand about the joins if you are not familiar with the joins. So item name, I use the name here. So these two are matching now. Now that's it. Now when you see the preview here, it will have all the columns till 10 columns till the sales data. The join purpose is to expand the table, get the additional attributes from the joining table. So it gets all the other additional columns from the product table. So these are the columns from the product table. Source 2, you can see source 1, source 2, source 2. So what we can do is we can restrict this output using the select. In select, what we will do, we will select whatever columns we require. We don't require the name of the product, we don't require the category name, we need only the parent brand, and cost, price and tax, everything we ignore. So now we have only this. As part of the requirement, what we need to do is we need to filter the data only for the Chennai, that is location equal to Chennai. Now for that, let's go and add another filter. There is a condition called filter. So configure this, click on this filter, go at the bottom and filter on. Right, you go to expression, just use the column location, and you have a symbols here. This equal to is your equal. It's not a single equal to, you need to use double equal to. I want Chennai. So this is the code for you to filter the Chennai. Now what happens, you have trimmed the data for that space in that column, then you have joined, then you have selected few of the columns whichever you require, then finally you filtered for Chennai. Now you're going to sync it, that is load it into target. What I need, I need to load it into product clean underscore dataset. That's fine. Now then you can do the settings here. So in previous videos, if you see, I choose this default here. That's why you get the file name as default. For simplicity, I am using this output to single file right now, but this is not recommended for the actual projects. Now I will say Chennai sales underscore 1 dot csv. Okay, now once you choose output to single file, right, you need to go to single partition. You need to set this, then only it will work. So understanding this, why we go for default and how the part comes, I mean the file name stored as a part underscore 00, those things require you to understand the big data architecture, Hadoop, all other stuffs. I will cover that later part of the video. Now I'll focus on this, like you choose output to single file so that you will get the same name, file name. Then you can choose the single partition. Now we have configured the sync as well. That's it. We have achieved whatever we want to do. I will walk you through once again. This is our sales file, this is our product file, and sales file contains a space in the product. We have trimmed it, then we join the columns using sales file item name, that is product name, and in the product file name column. Then we selected whichever columns we need, then we filter by the Chennai. Then we are loading into the target. That's it. Once you publish, let's see, it requires, okay, we have created some data flow here. Okay, we have created this new data flow. We'll rename it as Chennai data. I'm from Chennai, so allow to name the files like that. So now you have a Chennai data flow here. I hope you know how to create this pipeline. We have seen in our previous videos. I'm not going to repeat it. Just create the pipeline and you can drag and drop. Maybe I will delete and do it again. So you create the pipeline and data flow, drag and drop, just settings, go to settings and Chennai data. That's it. So now once you have defined this, you are going to call this data flow in the pipeline. And I will say, instead of product, I will say like Chennai. That's it. So now let's try to run this, and we'll go and check in the processed file. So this is the processed file, I mean folder that is going to store. Let's see how it works. So it will take a little bit time. The file size is very small, but it has to be in the queue, in the cluster, a lot of other things, right? So it is succeed. Let's go and check. Now we got that file, Chennai sales. Let's go and check it out. Now you can see the sales data is there along with the new column called parent brand, that is unbranded everything, and you can see the Chennai, right, the Chennai sales and Peter England. And for your information, like we have used the inner join and whichever codes that matches, right, those records only will come here. Now we have achieved what we have doing it for today's video. We're going to see another two transformations in Azure Data Factory data flows, that is conditional split and union transformations. Without further delay, let's begin. What we are going to do today. So we have sales data and we have a conditional split. So what we have is this data contains a complete set that contains different location. The requirement is to split the data into two different files. This is the conditional split. That is a typo error, ignore about that. And another transformation that we are going to do is like combine. this is opposite of it. So you have a two data set and you are going to combine it into a single data set. That is the whole purpose we are going to do it today. So what we are going to do today, we have a storage account, and first task is to do the conditional split. Let's see the data over here. We have a blob container. I'm using very simple examples, and you can apply it for your complex scenarios in your business cases. Now we have our data here. We can see the sales data that contains different data over here. So what I want to do is I want to split only the Chennai data into a separate file and Bangalore data into different file. So this data contains a 3 location combined together. We want to split it into 2 files, one for Chennai, another for Bangalore. That's what we are going to do. That is our first thing we are going to do here. So let's go to our pipelines and data flow. Let's create a new data flow. That is, I will name it as split. So I will add a data source. We already created a data source for this, right? So you can see, click here, select sales is a data source. Now what we need to do is we need to split it. Click on this plus icon. The option we have is like conditional split. You can click on conditional split and you can expand this. See, enter the output stream name. We need to specify the 2 stream name. If it contains only one, we can use it. Now I can say Chennai flow, and I need to specify the condition here. If you remember, we have did this in the filter what do you call filter transformation. So it is pretty much same, but filter completely filters the data. But here we have an option to get multiple streams. Now this is first condition. I can add another stream, that is Bangalore. You can see, you can just add the condition here, Bangalore. So I can copy paste this and edit it directly here instead of going for a editor. That's it. So you can see the final over here, final thing, except these two, if there are any other data, it goes to the next block. That is, rows that do not meet the any other condition will use the output stream. I don't want to other data to be flown. You can see now we got the 2 flow. One is for Chennai flow, another for Bangalore flow. So I got the 2 data. Now let us try to load it into the sink. So this is sink, that is Chennai data. I hope we already have a data set for Chennai. Let's try to use this one, and always we can go and check product clean. So I can reuse this data set right now. I don't want to create another one, so just provide the name as sales underscore Chennai, right? And you can come down. Now you can add another sink over here, so you can have multiple sink. See, I'm doing all this exercise with the basic fundamental things, so that in upcoming videos I will do much more dynamic things that we will demonstrate. Now here, processed sales underscore Bangalore, right? So these are the 2 files I am creating right now. So as I said before, if you want to name it properly, you can do that properly over here. Now when I go over here, settings, file name option. It is default. When you use the default, as I said in my previous video, you can have different file names, I mean with the path. So I don't want to do that, so let me give the name over here, Bangalore underscore sales. Events. And if you use this, you need to use the single partition. Then click on this, settings, output to single partition, sales, single partition. Okay, that's it. So now we have read the data and we have used the conditional split here and loading into two different files. Let's try to publish this. Yeah, we have used the single partition, we have missed it. This is there. How about this? This is not happen, that's why. Let's republish this. So I use the product data source. I know that, but for simplicity I have reused it because we create the dataset and we can reuse for some other purpose as well. So let's try to run this one right now. For running this, go to pipeline, create pipeline, say split, execute, and I need a data flows. I need to choose split. That's it, we are ready. Let's try to run this one. So it will take some time. Okay, it succeeded. Let's go and check in the data files, the process files. Sorry, we need to go and check in the process folder. Processed. There we go. Now we got two files. You can see Chennai sales and Bangalore sales that just now we created. Let's go and check only it contains the Chennai data. You can see only Chennai data is available at the end, and let's try to see the Bangalore data, and it contains only Bangalore data. By using this split, a conditional split, we have achieved our results. Let's try to do another pipeline, either in the same way. Like now what we are going to do the other way round. As I said before, we will load the product 1 and product 2 right in the source files, product and product new. Let's assume like we have some 11 products here, 11 rows, basically 10 products, and we are introducing three more lines, right? So 10 plus 3 is 13 rows should be there in the final output file. Let's try to do that. Let's create another flow that says union. So my data source over here is product data source. Let's go and check it's pointing to the correct file. So it is pointing to the source file product. Yes, this is correct. Then I need another file. Let's use the another file. Let's use this time sales essay, and we'll go and change this one to read from product 2. Okay, even though the data set is 1, while running this pipeline we can use the choose the particular file, then obviously this will run. That will take the respective files. That is what we are doing right now. So I'll choose this one. Now going back again, now you have source one as product and this is new product. So let's try to do the union. So union is the transformation that will combine this product 10 records and product another file 3 records into a single file. Let's try to configure this union. So incoming stream is source 1, incoming union with source 2, then that's it. So union by name or position. Okay, I think both are having a same name in the column. If you see these two files, I will share them the link. Then I just copy pasted and added a few more files. So name and position is fine. So this is a simple configuration. Now once you union it, you can do just quickly see the results as well in the data preview. Since this is on, it will pop up quickly. Let's wait for a few more seconds. There you go. So now you can see these are the 3 lines I added, I remember. So leggings, jeans, kits and keychain. These are 3 lines and top 10 rows are from the first file. So it is combined successfully. And that's it. If you want to load, you can sync it in any other files. Let's try to configure product to clean. Let me check. This time processed, I will say product combined CSV. Right, now go back to, you can publish all your changes. Basically we are reusing the data sets you created. For each thing you no need to recreate, and we can also dynamically pass the parameters. That I will explain it a little later. And you can see I have added this split execute, right? I can add the data flow here. The another task, you can activate this blade. The blades are very small, and if you are very new, you cannot see this one. You can just check that small arrow mark. So data flows again. This is for sales split, general. This is for the split. This is for union. So here I will call this particular data flow, that is union. That's it. Now I do not want to run this one, so there is option to deactivate. So I just deactivated it. Now let's run only this one. Okay, now this task is succeeded. Let's go and check. If you see here, since we have not given a single file, it has splitted that product combined. Basically this is the whole behavior of storage accounts or blob storage. It will do the partitioning based on certain parameters of behavior. So that's why this will confuse you. Let's see what happened right now. So you can see it, even though it combined, it creates a partition file, that is, it's split into 2 files. So let me show you. So this is the data from first file, and this is the data from the second file. So both are in the same file. Okay, basically the blob storage will store in a partition base. So this will confuse you. That is the whole purpose from the beginning. I'm saying for understanding purpose, you should use the single. I mean, in the settings, use the output to a single file. I'm going to rerun it again after setting this single partition. Okay. Now we are going to publish again. File name of the yes, settings, the file name is going to be product combined dot csv. I'm publishing again. Let me rerun it for you. Let's go back to split execute. We have already disabled this. Let me run again. It will execute only this one. When you click on this, let's wait for a few more seconds. Once it succeeds, we'll go and check it out. Yes, it's already created. Now you can check this one, both are combined. So I hope you got what we are trying to achieve now. So we have learned about how to split the data. If you have a combined data, you can split it into multiple files, and if you have multiple files, you can combine into a single file as well. That's it. You have a stored procedure in your SQL Server DB, and you want to execute this in Azure Data Factory. How to do it, where to do it, let's try to check it out as part of this video. Welcome to Analytics with Nags. So what we are going to do is, like, we have a customer table information, and where the phone number is to be updated from a data factory. That's what we are going to see. For that, we have Azure Data Factory, and our procedure resides in SQL Server, and this data factory creates one pipeline that will call the stored procedure to update this customer phone number. That is what we are going to see. So I am in Azure Data Factory now. Let's try to check it out, the data. I have one database here, and in that I have a customer information, that is John and Shakshi, and we have many more entries, that is fine. Just for our demo purpose, we will stick to this 2 records. So this customer information is missing, so how I can update it, that's what we're going to see. So let me go into our data factory. I just executed a pipeline. That's what appear here. Let's try to demonstrate from the beginning. So where we need to do, this is part of the pipeline activity. So earlier whatever task we do, that is in the data flows, but the calling a procedure is part of the pipeline activity. So let's try to create a pipeline. I will name it as update customer, update customer. So in this activity, you need to go and search for stored procedure, drag and drop. So this is the pipeline, and in that pipeline you have an activity that is stored procedure. Search for it and drag and drop. Now we are going to configure this procedure. So once you go here, we need to choose the link services staging, and in that link service you have basically it is the which server or database it is. You will choose this one, and then in that you will select the procedure. So let me go and show you the procedure here. So here you have a here you have a procedures, 2 procedures here. Let me show the definition of it. View definition. So it's a simple procedure which takes the customer ID as the input and phone number as the input. Both are input, and then based on the customer ID it will do the filter and update the phone number. This is a simple procedure. You can have a very big complex logic, whatever you want to achieve, that can be done in your procedures. Let's boom back to our data factory. So this is the customer phone number. Now you can see the parameters are not came here yet, so you can just press the import So just remember to press this import so that those parameters will also come here. So basically right now what I'm going to do is, let's try to check the data that we have done in the previous step. You see customer ID, this procedure requires a customer ID to be passed, and you need a phone number. This customer 2 phone number is empty. Let's try to pass manually right now 2 and then phone number as +910000, whatever random number I'm pressing right now. So just put that one. That's it. So now you have configured your procedure, like choosing the connection and which procedure you need to call and parameters you want to pass. This is all we did manually here. Usually when you design the procedure, you will pass it dynamically from passing the parameters from the pipelines or the previous step. That is fine for now. To make our understanding simple, to make the basics simple, what I'm trying to do here is, let's try to run this by entering the manual parameters that we did right now. So just press debug. Let's wait for a few minutes. There you go. It was very quick. So now this has been completed. Now you go to your database and check this data. You can see now we have entered 000728828. This is what we have achieved right now. So I hope you like this video, how to call a procedure. We have achieved what we are going to do today. So now we have achieved what we have to do today, like parameters, or in other terms, how to make your pipeline more dynamic. That is what we're going to see as part of this video. Let's begin. What are we going to do today? Basically, we have data in one database and we have to move into another database. That we can able to do in a copy data activity if it doesn't have any transformations. So imagine you need to move other tables like product and dim currency, like any, let's say hundreds of tables you need to move. Designing a copy activity for each and individual tables like this, it's inefficient. So basically what we need to do is, this is all about doing the same thing. It's just copies the data and loads into a target. So we need to design a single activity, that is copy data activity, and we can pass these names as a parameter. So we need to design one single copy activity and we will pass the schema name and table name as a parameter. Then it will copy when it is running for customer, it will copy the customer data. When it's running for product, it will copy the product data, and any other tables you pass as a parameter. That is the whole thing. We are going to do it right now. So what I'm talking about over here is, like, we have a source tables here, that is customer 4 tables here, and in our target we have tested product. We need to load other tables here. For that, let's go and check how we design the product table pipeline. So you have a copy data. These things I already mentioned in our previous videos. You just follow the Azure Data Factory playlist if you don't know how to create a copy data activity. That we have used like from storage account to database, but it is same for the SQL Server, any source to target. You need to configure the source and target, then you just use that source and target in these connections. That is what. So let's try to review how we have designed for the product copy. So we have a product, that is a data set that is pointing to a single table that is in the source DB, and there is a sink, that is a target DB that is pointing to another table. This is what this copy data activity is doing. So when we go and check out here, we have hard coded the name, right? That is product. Then we'll go and check the sync. That is also hard coded with the name, that is product. So when we run this right now, what will happen? Let's debug. I hope in the target I have cleared the result set. Let's try to check it out. Takes a few seconds. So it is successful. Let's try to check out the target. You see I'm in target DB. Now we got the records over here, 2 records. So now in order to load other other tables, right, we need to go and change the table name over here repeatedly. Okay, instead of product I need to choose customer. This is inefficient. We should not do it, because once you develop the data set and linked service, this should not be disturbed at all, right? Only you need to pass it from outside that pipeline, or from the pipeline you need to pass it to the task that will automatically take that parameters. So basically we need to set the parameters at the source as well as target data sets. Let's try to do that. Let's go to here. You have parameters here. Let's say I always prefer to have a schema, right? Schema, I will say SR. This is for distinguish you. I mean, for new beginners, you need to understand this is the source data set. Schema source data set, and I will put DBO, so that different parameters can be easily differentiated. Table name, SRC dataset. I will give here product. You can give the default name whichever a single table exists. Okay, this is the parameters. Then coming to connection, you need to put this mandatory. Okay, enter manually, then click on it and add dynamic content. You see you have just created a parameter. Use this one. Click there, and also here click here table name. So this is very important step. Like, you have created a parameters in the data set, and the table name, right, for the connection should use that parameters. This is the first step. Then go to target, repeat the same schema, target dataset, provide DBO. So it should be quicker. Sorry, table name. Sorry for the typo. Come on. Table name, target dataset, product again. Okay. Then go to connection, enter manually, click on it, dynamic content, schema, and then target. That's it. So we are done with configuring the parameters at the data set level. This is step number 1. So our data set becomes dynamic now. Okay, it can accept any parameters that comes along. Now it's time for us to configure parameters at the pipeline level. So parameters is more of a creating the dynamic content. So for time saving, I already created the parameters here. It's like just click on it, schema and string, you give some value, and table name, string, and product. This is the pipeline parameters. That is, in this product load pipeline you can have a parameters as well. Click outside, you will get the parameters. This is all about pipeline parameter. Now this is the important step here. Now we have seen like these parameters came right now. You can see earlier you don't see this parameters over here. Let's close and reopen, so that these parameters also, the another parameter also will appear. There is some issues with sync, right? I mean whatever parameters you created, that will not appear unless you close and reopen. That's okay. Now here whatever parameters you created right at the pipeline that you need to pass. So schema.pipeline, because whenever you run this pipeline debug mode or you are triggering, what the parameters can be passed to this task, that is activity. So and this parameter, nothing but you can see SRS, that is source data set, it will take as the input. So the data set requires two parameters value. This will be passed from the pipeline parameter. That is what we are doing. So go to table name. That's it. So this pipeline parameter that we have created here, which will be inputted to the source dataset. That is first step. Even in the sync side, we want the same table names, right? So use the schema pipeline parameters again. That is target dataset parameters. That's it. Now if you see here, why I have created this and passed it there. When I do the debug, earlier it has run on its own. When I run it now, it will prompt me like pipeline parameter, whatever I created here, right? Schema table name, that will prompt. Now this time instead of product, I will provide customer. Okay, before I'm running it, I will show what is existing in customer. In source, I'm in staging, that is my source. I have two records over here. Okay, two records here, but in my target I don't have any tables. Okay, the target table, that customer table doesn't exist. Let me go back and click on OK. Now the pipeline is running. This time it is more dynamic. Whatever using a single copy data activity, I can pass that whenever I run this pipeline, right? I can pass that parameter to make it more dynamic. Whichever parameter I pass, that table I'm going to copy. So let it complete. Let's try to check. It has completed. Let's go to our target immediately. Let's check it out. There you go. We got the customer data. There you go. Two records. Let's try to do the another table, that is dim currency. Dim currency not exist in target. Let me run it again. DBO, everything is a DBO here. Dim currency. Now it's running for dim currency. It will be quick. It is not more records. Let's see. In progress. There you go. It has also completed. Let's try to check the target. That is our dim currency table as well. So actually this is the first step for making you to understand what is a parameter, how the dynamically create your pipelines. There is a more efficient way to loop through all the tables in your database, source database, and then load it into a target. For that to achieve, this video is your essential or fundamentals. We will check it out how to do more dynamic pipelines in the upcoming videos. If you like to load multiple tables in a database into your target database using a single Azure Data Factory pipeline or activity, that is what we are going to see as part of this video. Let's begin what we are going to do today. We have seen in our previous videos, loading a single table, we need to have an activity. If you are trying to load 3 tables, you will create a 3 copy data activity, and this is inefficient. So we told like we need to use the parameters. You design a single pipeline or activity where you can choose a source, schema and table as a parameter. You can pass and then you can dynamically load it. This is somewhat good practice, but again you need to pass manually, right, for loading each table. How to make it programmatically? That makes our life easier. Even you have 100 tables, you can make it more dynamic. You no need to pass each time. That is what our end objective is. What I'm trying to say here is, like, we need to design a pipeline that will get the list of tables, right? Let's say 3 tables in this case, and for all the 3 tables you run that copy activity. This is what we are going to do. So if you see here, this particular activity gets me what are the tables I'm going to read from my source, and these 3 tables are passed as a parameters for each loop. Then this copy activity will copy from the source, that customer, and loads into the target. Let's try to check it out, how to implement this as part of things. First, let me show you the connections. This is my staging server, which resides in Azure. This is my target server, which resides in Azure as well. Let me show the source tables. What we have in our source, we have 4 tables: customer, dim, currency, geography, and product. Let me show you some records here. We have 3 records, and in our target we don't have any tables right now. So we have shown the connections and we have seen the databases. Let's go to datasets. This is the source dataset, and which is parameterized. If you don't know how to create a parameters, watch my previous videos. And we have target DB, where you can have target DB dataset, that is, which has again parameters. We have 2 datasets that we are going to use as part of this video. Let's try to create a new pipeline. Let me name it as look. That's somewhat fine. Let me take lookup activity. So what this lookup activity will give, it will give us the result set, right? Let me choose the data set here, and then I prepared some notes here, what needs to be done at each stage. So this is for the lookup activity. I will paste it in what you call so at each step I have prepared some script that you can use it. I will paste it in the description. So first things first, so in this I'm going to use the query, and ensure you uncheck this box, because we are going to get the multiple rows. I'm not going to get only single row, I'm going to get the multiple rows. So ensure you uncheck this. I'm using the query. I'm pasting this query. It is very simple. Select name from sys.objects where type equal to u. What it will return, let me run and show you what it is going to return. This is returning my table names here. Okay, that is what I'm getting from that output. Next thing is, that's all. So once you are done with this lookup, you are done with the lookup configuration. Let's try to use the for each loop, connect. Then in for each loop we need to set this items. This property should be parameterized. Let's try to get this value. In for each setting items, use this script, that is activity lookup.output.value. You can take this one, paste it here. That's it. This is also done from for each perspective. Then you can click on edit. Then again inside this you have a copy data activity. So inside that for each you are trying to copy. Then what you need to do, you need to pass the parameters, whatever the records we are going to get, right? From the source we are going to get in this sequence: customer, product, dim currency, and dim geography. That one you need to pass it as a table in the source connection, right? So in this place, right, instead of hard-coded value, I'm going to get that for each loop, each iteration value. What is that value? It is nothing but item.name. this name, right, this name is nothing but whatever you configured in the previous step, that is whatever we queried, right, in the select name from sys.objects. This is the name we need to pass it here. And that's it from source perspective. Next, going to sync, use this target DB. Then here I can choose auto create table. If does not exist, then use this one. Again, in the table name target, I'm going to paste the same thing, item.name. You can see target table, this is this one, and this is the optional one, which is use it to drop the target table if it exists, and that is very good when you want to load multiple times, right? So I'm using that script as well. So this one you can keep it here. So what it does, let me show you. It is the dynamic query, like if object ID of that particular table name exists, right, then drop the table. That is the script it is going to give. So what happens is, very first time you load it, the table won't be there, so it will auto create it and load the data. Next time what happens, if it exists, it will drop and recreate the table again. Okay, that is the ultimate thing this pre-copy script will do. Now we are done with all our configuration. Let's go back one step here, then click on debug. There you go. Now you can see the lookup activity. This query is fired and you got 4 items, that is customer, product, dim currency, dim geography, and that is passed as a parameter to the for each. Now you can see the copy data activity. The pre-copy script is being executed, that is dim geography. All the 4 tables are created. You can see here in the target, I'm on the target, and you can see all these 4 tables are created now. So you can check it out, the data is loaded in your target. So let me rerun this pipeline so that you will understand what this pre-copy data scripts are doing, right? So one step back, let me rerun this pipeline, refresh it. So ideally the customer data, if you are not dropping and recreating, what will happen is it will have the 6 records, because first time we have loaded 3 records are there, next time we are loading another 6 records will be there, I mean another 3 records, so total it will be 6 records. Since we have pre-copy script, right, which is dropping the target table and recreating, it will not have the 6 records, it will have only the 3 records right now. So that is the purpose of pre-copy script. This is used for loading the staging tables in case of data warehouse. My ultimate aim is to build a data warehouse using the data factory, so that's why I'm having all this snippets training in as part of this video. Let's check in the target now once again. So I get only the 3 records, even though the second iteration also successful. I hope you like this video. You can load any number of tables, ensure that this lookup activity should return you those number of tables, then you can load any number of tables. That is the ultimate objective of this video. I hope you like. I'm going to talk about how to move or archive files in the storage account or in the data lakes as part of Azure Data Factory series. Without further delay, let's begin what we are going to do today. So we have 3 files in the data lake that we consider as landing area, and once we want to move it, archive it, we will do certain actions, right? Any actions that can be, I will leave it with you, whatever you do. and then once the task is done, we need to move it into process folder. Once it is moved, then we will delete it from the target area. That is what we used to do. So in order to do that, this is the typical archival process that usually we perform. I'm not going to build right from the single pipelines, dragging and dropping activities. Instead, I'm going to do a different approach today using the template approach. What it is, let's try to check it out. This channel contains a free content that covers Power BI, MSBI, and fundamentals of SQL as well as Azure. Please free to share this channel with friends and colleagues. Utilize this free content. Going back to the main video, like as I said before, I'm not going to build a pipelines here. I'm going to use the templates. So for that, click on the home button, and there is a pipeline template, and you can see there is a bunch of templates. This is giving you a clue. If you have a scenario, in order to do that, try to come and check it in the template. Is that already available as a template so that you can use it? So in this case, I want move files. This is the template. Then click on OK and continue. Then you can see what this does. It does the actual thing. It gets the list of files and filter the files, because the blob storage can contain any other files as well, like images or any other format you don't want to move. Then you can filter those in this step. Then finally, for each files from this list, you will move it to a process folder. That is what this is going to do. Then the link services you need to choose for the source as well as the target. In my case, both are same. This is the Azure Data Lake Storage is my source, and my target also same. So let me show you those files. So I am in the source files here. Let me click on this source files, and I have 3 files here. Let me go to processed folder. You can see processed, blob containers, processed, and I don't have those files in the source. That is customer product sales data. Customer product sales data is not available. What we are going to do, we are going to move this file from here to in this place. For that, we are using the template. This storage is the connection to the blob storage, not for the folders. For the folders, what we have to process, we are going to give it as an input. Let's see that. Once you click on it, that's it. You see here, these are the new files, whatever in the dot, which is created by this template. You can see these data sets are created, and also this particular pipeline. Whatever you seen in the preview, that is created automatically. This is a quick way to do certain things. So once it is done, what is the parameter required? You have a source location and a directory. So destination store location and a directory. This is nothing but the location name is nothing but your source files. This is the name of the blob container. So you can provide this here, default value, and then this is the file source is the directory. Just provide the blank name. These can be customized as per your need. For simplicity, I am providing all these things. The processed is the destination folder, that is location is your directory, and I don't have any other further directory here. Usually we can have a directory. I don't have any directory. That's it. These are the default values. Now let us try to run this pipeline and check how it works, whether it copies or not. Then we will come back and go through each and every step over here. So let me debug. These are the inputs, right? Process, source files, and file source is all this default. I'm okay with the default, and click on OK. So it is getting the list of files now. There you go. And then it has filtered as well, the filters file. If at all any unwanted file is there, it will be filtered. Then for each of the files, right, the copy file is triggered, then a delete file is triggered. There is 3 files, so let's go and check it in our source. I didn't refresh yet, so let me refresh. In source the files are gone, and in my target I need to refresh. There you go, I got these 3 files right now. So we are done with this activity, like whatever we want to achieve. So I want to take few moments or few minutes to explain this pipeline as well. So now first things first, let's go to the first activity, get file list. What it will do, you can check here the settings. It takes the parameter, that is container and directory, and it uses this dataset which is being created here, and then it also loops through your subfolders as well, that is child items. Okay, then going to the next activity, you see here it uses the filters, activity.getOne output.child items. So it gets the all the file names over here, get list file child items, then the condition to filter, right, this is the filter activity. It gets the items, what are the items from this list to the previous step, then finally it will do the filtration, equals item.type equal to file. If it is except the file, any other images are coming, then it will be filtered here. This will get all the list of items, but this will filter it out. Okay, then finally for each loop, so how many records we get it from this particular step, previous step, for each item, that output dot that filter files is the activity name, and the output dot value will be passed here. Then inside this there are 2 activities in the file for each. As usual, we have a copy of file. It takes the source data set, and you see the source location and directory as the input, and the name of the file. Name of the file, it will be iterated, that is why you have a item.name. Then finally you have a sync. Sync is obviously we have a destination store and destination directory as well as destination location. Location is nothing but container, and directory is nothing but a folder. Then file name, so the same file name we used to create. Then finally we have delete. What it does, it takes this input and performs the delete operation. Based on the source files only we are passing it here. So this is pretty straightforward template like we will follow for archival. So you make use of this templates concept in your projects, so that you no need to brainstorm very big thing. You are always free to customize all these parameters based on your needs. I hope you like this video using this template approach. That will save a lot of your time. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and comment below for queries. Share this channel with your friends and colleagues if you are new to this channel. Do remember that data is your asset. How to use the if or switch activities in the Azure Data Factory pipeline. If you have watched my previous videos or following the Azure Data Factory playlist, we have done move or archive files. I'm going to use the same content so that it will be aligned with what we are doing right now. With this note, let's begin what we are going to do today. So we have 3 files with some naming, and first thing is we're going to check the condition. If this file contains product, only that file we will move. Second is nothing but a switch statement. What we are going to do, we use some condition. If the first part of the file is customer, we'll move it to customer folder, and the second part if we will extract the first 4 letters of the files, and we will check whether if it's cust, prod or current, then we will move it to respective folders. This is using a switch statement. The first one is using the if statement. That is what we are going to see today. I am in data factory now, and I have this pipeline where it will get the list of files and it will filter only the files, and we will use the for each file to move it. So now our ultimate, if you are not aware of this, please watch my previous video how to build this. Now we will go for if condition. So basically what we are going to do, where we can apply the if condition. Let's try to understand this, because this gets a list of files from the source system. My source files resides over here. Let's see the source files here. I have 4 files. So this particular task will filter only the files. Okay, then I have all the objects over here as files, so I will get 4 results. Then for each file it is looping. Inside this I am copying and deleting the file. This is what we do. So if condition we are going to place inside this. Let's try to do that. So if you see here, this is my activity, that if condition, and I'm going to keep these 2 tasks inside this if condition true case. Okay, first of all we'll try to write the if condition. What is our condition? What we are going to do as part of this? We are going to do check if the file name, right, contains product, then only copy that product file. That is the condition. So we will write the expression here, contains. Let's try to build it from here. Contains right, and item dot name, right, and it contains a product. Then this will become a true, right? So if it is becomes a true, what I need to do, I'm going to copy these 2 activities and paste it here. That's it. So I will delete outside activities, because I'm going to, in the for each file, it will check the condition. If the file name contains a product, then only copy it. Okay, so earlier if you have seen, all these files are moved to process folder. I have cleared it right now. I don't have any other files here. Now what we are going to do, we will process all the 4 files, but we will only copy or move only the files that contains product. In our case, I want to move these 2 files as part of if condition, right? Let's do that. So these parameters are already defined. So this is the location is nothing but my container, and source directory is my source directory, that is a folder, and destination location is my container. Okay, that is destination container. I don't have any directory right now. I'm leaving it blank. Let's try to run. There you go. What happened is it ran 4 times. That it has written 4 files, right, for each file. So it is running 4 times, and pipeline is successful now. Now let's go and check the process file. I will refresh. See, it has not moved other 2 files. Let's go and check in the process file. You can see the file name contains a product, only those 2 has been moved here. So this is what the if condition will do. It will check a condition. Only if that condition is successful, then you will get the respective activities, whatever defined in the true condition, it will perform. And there is no activities defined in the false case, so it will not perform anything here. This is what if condition will do. And let's move on to our next scenario, like why we need a switch statement. So if will handle only two cases, like either if it's true or false, whereas I have a scenario like I get a list of files here, and based on the file name prefix, if it contains customer, I need to move to another folder, customer, and if it contains from product, that is prod, then I will move to product folder. Okay, then in these cases how I need to design my pipeline. Let's try to check it out. For this, let me revamp this one. So now we understand the if condition. Let's try to deactivate it. I will go for switch condition now. Inside that for each, I'll keep it aside. Let's try to use the switch condition. So while watching this video, I will do certain things here, like I'm deactivating so that this condition will not execute. I'm just using the other task activity here. So switch. Now what is the switch condition? Again I need to write the expression here. Now in this case I need to extract the first 4 letters of the character. Okay, for that I need to use substring of, okay, at substring of, what is the value? Item dot name, and my parameter is 0,4, right? So once you provide this, what happens if this name, right, what is the name? It will return some value. That is, either it can return cust, or it can return what you call prod, or it will return any other value, whatever be the first 4 characters of the source file. Let's go and check in the source file. So it will return cust, or it will return v2 sales, something like that, right? So let me upload other 2 files as well here, that is product files in the source. So what we are going to use with the switches, right? This is my source file, and in the process file I have created 2 folders here, that is product as well as customer. So if the file name contains prod, it will move to product. If the file name it's customer, cust, and it will move to customer folder. That is our end objective. That is what we are defining. So I'm taking the first 4 characters from the file name. So from this source files, this name contains cust, it will move to customer folder. If it contains prod, it will move to product folder in my target. So for that, this is my first 4 characters. Now add a case. If the case is cust, then what I need to do? If the value is prod, then what I need to do? I can keep on adding this based on my different folders. This is what I said. If condition will do only either true or false. If you see the switch case, it will have multiple cases, and based on the value, switch based on this value it returns, we can keep on adding the activities here. In my case I have only 2 cases, cust and prod. I will remove this. So what I'm going to perform, let me go and copy from these 2 activities. So this is from if condition, I'll keep it aside. So here in the switch case, in the cust activity, let's click on this, and then paste it here. And what importantly you need to do is, in the copy, source remains same, and based on the condition you are going to sync. So in the outside the for each and the switch activity itself, the file name is filtered. So here what I need to put is the destination location. The directory will be my customer. I'm just hard coding here for time being, so you can see my destination over here is process customer, right? It is in small letter, so just put customer as a target directory. Okay, I'm just hard coding here, and then go back, and here what you need to do, same thing, just use the sync here, use the product. So once again, coming back over here, what are the different things we have done here so far? So we get the list of files and filter, you check whether it's a file only files or not. Then we'll pass into for each loop. In the for each loop, we have disabled this if condition, and we use the switch case here. Okay, we are not going to do perform both, we will do only switch here in order to understand. This is already done. Let me delete it as well. So switch, we are checking the condition in the switch. What is that? We will getting the first 4 characters from the file name. If it is cust, then move the files in the customer folder. If it contains prod, the file name contains first 4 letters prod, move it in the product folder. So that is what we have designed here. So let's go back and check the files once again. There is no files right now in product as well as customer. Let's click on debug. So these are the different use cases you can use this. There can be different business scenarios you will end up in using this if and switch, but you should understand the fundamental concept behind the scenes, when to use if and when to use switch. There is no thumb rule, you should use switch only or you should use if. Based on your business scenarios, whichever suits your needs, you can use flexibly. Now everything is succeed. Let's go and check what happened now. In the source files, everything is cleared. We had 4 files earlier, and now what happened is in the product folder is moved. In the product folder, product files are moved. In the customer folder, customer file is moved. So this is what it happened now. I hope you understand the purpose of different activities as part of Azure Data Factory. I have explained if and switch as part of this video. If you like, I'm going to talk about integration runtime, what it is, when to use it as part of your Azure Data Factory. One of the use cases is to connect to on-premise database. That is what we are going to see as part of this video. Let's begin. So basically the definition of it is like, it is the compute infrastructure used by the Azure Data Factory and provide following data integration capabilities. Which are those? This is data flow, data movement, activity dispatch, SAS package execution across different networks, meaning it can be either in the cloud or in the on-premise. That is what, across different networks. And in order to further drill down where this particular integration runtime fits in the Azure Data Factory, we all know what is activity, which defines the action to be performed, meaning it can be calling data flow, or move, it can be a simple copy data activity, or calling a stored procedure. That is what activity, meaning which action to be performed is defined by the activity. Link services defines the target data store. It it is written target data store, meaning it can be a connection, it can be a source or target, based on where we use the link services. So basically that is the compute service. When you say running a procedure, all the procedure execution happens in this particular link services, meaning within the database. That is what a link service is. Then how you can link the activity and link services via integration runtime. This provides a bridge between the activities and the link services. This is what it's all about. So there are three types of integration runtime: Azure, self-hosted, Azure SSIS. So basically this Azure is mostly if your data source is in cloud, this integration runtime will work. And self-hosted, meaning your data it's in on-premise or private network, then you need to install the self-hosted. There are sometimes you have SSIS packages that you need to run, then you can use the Azure SSIS. So there are three different types of integration runtime. So what are we going to do today? As we already said, as part of this demo, we are going to use the integration runtime for connecting to the on-premise database, because our Azure Data Factory resides in the cloud and it cannot directly connect to your on-premise storage. So we need integration runtime in between our cloud and the on-premise database. So we will install the integration runtime self-hosted in the your corporate firewall or in the local servers. Then this will act as a bridge between your data factory and your on-premise database. That is what it's all about. We are going to perform this action in our next video, like connecting to on-premise storage and loading into cloud storage. In this video we will try to create the integration runtime. I am in data factory now. So where you can find the data factory integration runtime, it's like if you go to manage, there are different things over here. Link services we have initially seen, like integration, link services, data sets, and we have created pipelines, all of the things as of now. We never talked about the integration runtime. When you click on the integration runtime, you can see this is the auto resolve, which is the Azure type, right? As I said, there are three types. We have this Azure type, which is used to connect within the Azure services. Now our goal is to create the self-hosted. So click on the self-hosted now, click on next. Use this for running activities in an on-premise or private network. So we'll go for self-hosted now again. Then provide AWN demo DF, data factory. Makes sense. This is our integration runtime. We can put IR underscore. No, there is no underscore. Okay, IR integration runtime analytics with Nags demo data factory. All is well. Click on create. There you go. Now here is the two steps. One is click here to launch Express setup for this computer, and download and install integration runtime. There are two ways to do this. Either you can go for Express or for the manual. In a corporate environment, I will prefer manual, because you may not work in the same server that you are configuring the Azure Data Factory. So download, and while it is prompting for the key 1 and key 2, you can provide this keys there. Then it will be synced with this IR created in the data factory. For the demo purpose, I am going for option 1, so that it will automatically install in my PC, because it is my personal PC I am installing. That can be quick. So I am opening up, I am installing. It will take a while. Okay, the download is completed, and now it started installing integration runtime. Let's see how much time it takes. Now the installation is happening, and the installation is done, and the registration of integration runtime is happening. Let's wait for it. Okay, now it says like integration runtime is successfully installed on your computer. Okay, there you go. So once it is configured and refreshed, you can see the IR is working fine, and we have seen in our server as well. Using this, now we can quickly connect to our on-premise SQL server. On-premise SQL server is here. Let me copy the server name. This is my server name, and I'm using SQL authentication for it. Let's try to create one. So SQL server, you should be SQL server, then use the integration runtime, that is the runtime we created. This is my server, and database name, leave it blank. I can take this one. AdventureWorks is my database name, and I'm using SQL authentication. I'll provide the password. That's it. Let's try to use the test connection here. There you go. Okay, so the connection was successfully established, right? For this, you need to set here trust connection, trust the server certificate. Click on connect. There you go. So now we can able to create the connection to the on-premise database server. Once it is created, then it is, as usual, it can be treated as another link service in your pipelines. That we have already seen how we have used this link service in the pipelines. We've created datasets from this link service and use the datasets in your pipelines. The rest will follow. Next video we will see how to move one particular table from the on-premise to our cloud services. Welcome to Analytics with Nags. In this video I'm going to talk about how to copy a data from your on-premise to a cloud database. So assume you have a database in your on-premise, right? And then you have another database in your cloud, and you need to copy certain tables from your source to target. And how to do it, that's what I'm going to demonstrate it today. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel so that you will not miss out any of the new contents that I am making. So as you can see, what we are going to do today, we have a data at your on-premise and we are going to copy to the cloud. And in order to do that, we need integration runtime, that is to be installed as part of your on-premise server or the local server. If you are not aware, just click on the link that appears at the top, which will help you to install the integration runtime, which is the prerequisite for moving the data from the on-premise to cloud. So I have my server, that is on-premise server, installed in my PC. And let's say I want a dim date, right? I have all these tables. I'm not going to move any all of them. I'm going to move this dim date to my cloud server. In my cloud, I have a target SQL database, that is AWN target, which is over here. Assume I'm trying to build a database. I realize there is no dim date. I want to move from one on-premise server into this cloud database. That is what my end objective, how I'm going to perform it. So let's go to Azure Data Factory. As you aware, like we have integration runtime installed here, and then this runtime is linked in the our local server as well. That is, in this case, it is my PC, and which is up and running. Now I have created the SQL Server link service as well. So link service is the one. Using this integration runtime, I connected my servers. So all these things are prerequisite I have made as part of the Azure Data Factory playlist. If you come from the beginning, you will understand why we need to create link services and other steps I'm going to explain. That is datasets. And my target database link service is over here. That is AWN, and AWN target is my database. I authenticated using this. So I have these two prerequisites. One is integration runtime and the link services. That is also created. Now next I'm going to create the dataset. Datasets also, you can see this is using the AWN target link services. I need a schema as well as the table name, right? That is the parameters I have defined. So for my source, that is on-premise, I never created a dataset before. So let's try to create one. So this is my dataset, that is SQL Server. SQL Server, that is my on-premise. Click on it. Link service should be this. And the table name, either you can enter manually or you can parameterize. For time being, I am entering manually, that is dim date. Let's press OK. So my data set also created. Now let's go to pipeline. And what is this pipeline? I can create it like on-premise to cloud. Oh my god, on-premise to cloud. That's it. And as usual, we have copy data, source. Let's try to select my source. That is my SQL Server table, right? And even I can mention it here, any other table. For time being, I'm leaving users from the dataset as well. And my sink, my target, it requires a parameter. What is my parameter? Let it be DBO, and I need dim date here. That's it. So I can make it as auto create table if does not exist, otherwise it will fail. So that's it. These are the configuration I need to make now. And let me go and check in my target. I don't have a dim date, but in my source I have used that table, which is nothing but this table. It will pick it up from the parameters over here. The dim dates that I have chosen here. Okay, so that will work. Now let's try to debug it. So I'm just skipping the detailed explanation why I choose source, target, all of them, assuming you already aware of fundamentals of Data Factory. If you are not aware, just go and watch my playlist Azure Data Factory. That will give you the basic understanding about all other stuffs. What are this parameter for source, what is the parameters for sync, all other stuffs. So the copy data is successful, meaning my data will be created here. Let's try to check it out. There you go. I got the dim data in my over in my target. Let's try to check the data as well. Select start from dim date. Then I'm not sure whether it has data. Yes, it has. So it contains overall somewhere around 3652 records. Let's try to run the same query in my source as well to ensure all my records has been. This is my kind of unit testing. 3652 records. So that's it for now. I hope load exchange rate data from a web API to a SQL server. To make it clear, exchange rate data meaning like you have a different currencies data like each day, like AED to USD, and you need to convert from any other currency, Japanese yen to USD, right? So where you need to fetch this data, right? That is first point, that you can use some web APIs to get the data. Then finally you need to store it into a SQL server. This can be achieved via Azure Data Factory. That is what we are going to see as part of this video. So what we are going to do today, we have an open and exchange rate website that will provide us an API to get the exchange rates on a daily basis or latest basis or the previous day. I'll walk you through that API, how it looks like. Then using a data factory, we will get that data and load it into Azure SQL Server. This is what we are going to perform it today. So I am in open.exchange-rates.org, where I will you need to sign in, right, in your personal or your professional account. Then what you need to do is, once you have logged in, they will provide you the app ID. This app ID is unique to your login, so that ensure it is documented properly. Using this app ID only, you can be able to access the any APIs. You need to pass this app IDs. Then you need to click on get started. That has a clear documentation over here, which I already opened here. Let's try to understand it. What it provides is, it provides an API and you need to pass your app ID along with this. Once you pass your app ID, right, once you put all these things, then put a question mark. After that, you need to pass your app ID equal to your app ID, whatever we fetch it from this step. Then you will use this link, right, in your now you can see this is your URL, right, API URL. Then once you use this URL, you get this data. This is the data you're going to get. Use this data in your as a source in your data factory, then load it in your target. This is what we are going to do right now. Let's go back to our data factory now. For this, in order to connect to the source, we have the REST API, right? That is, you need to create one link services. So link services should be search for REST. So based on your need, you can change your authentication. Okay, I will going for anonymous right now. For this, what this API does is, this will get your latest data whenever you run it. What is your my current data? Okay, it will not go back history and all. For that, you need to use your another API which is available in the same website. You can use that one. For now, I'm putting a test connection now. That's it. Now let me create one API here, that is REST service API is the name of the link services. Then I already have a staging the SQL server, that is staging link service. I will load in this. Let's go back and create one data set as well, that we will create in the pipeline itself. Let's create new pipeline. Let's name it as load exchange rate. As usual, I make some typo here, exchange rate. That's it. Now to create copy data, there you go, and you can use the or create the data set I've recently created, so I'm repeating it for you. So REST dataset, right, and you choose the link service we created, REST exchange rate v1 version 1, right, underscore v1. Let's try to create one, and then you can see right now the data created over here, right? I mean, you can fetch the data and preview the data once you call that API. Now this is good over here. Let's go to sync and choose the data set here. I will do the auto create. I don't have the table created. Exchange rate. So let's see the table exists or not. You can see the table does not exist, and we have set all the options over here. Insert, auto create, exchange rate, DBO, everything. Then one important step you need to remember, since very first time while I'm using it I got this error, like you need to manually import the schemas here, right? Once you import it, whatever is not necessary or you don't require those, right, you can ignore this, but this is very important step, otherwise you will not get the required data. So that's it. We configure the source, sync and mapping, and ensure you use the auto create if you are not created the table. In my case I'm using it. Let's try to run this pipeline. There you go. The data is succeeded, and let's try to refresh it. The data has been loaded, and surprisingly the data is not loaded in a columnar format. It is loaded in each column, meaning like if you see preview this data, how it appeared as a rates and columns over here, right? I thought like the currency will be loaded in column 1, value will be in column 2, but it will not load like this. So it is loaded in each column, right? It is pivoted. If you need to be changed in a column, and I mean 2 columns, that is currency should be in column 1 and value should be in another column, then you need to pivot it, like it should be convert the rows into columns. I hope you understand the purpose of this video, meaning like we can able to load the exchange rate from a API. It can be any API. It is not only the exchange rate. If you want to load a data from an API, you can use this method. If you like load variables in Azure Data Factory, when to use it, and once you use it, what are the benefits you're going to get? Let's try to check it out as part of this video. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button so that you will not miss out any of the videos that I post across in this channel related to data and analytics. Let's understand what is a variable with a simple example. Let's say I want to store the date value, or what is the current date, right? Date time basically, in this variable. So basically variable is used to store a value. That is the whole point. What is the scope of it? Till the pipeline execution of the data factory. In our case, we have another variable that stores the table name, or the new target table name, or new target file name, considered like that. And this variable uses the first variable, that is dt. You can see here, even you can write directly the get date. I'm just trying to explain you how you can reference the another variables. That is the whole point I'm trying to make here. So tb name and customer plus this variable .csv. This is the whole point, how the value of this tb name will look like. So if you print this variable, then it will look like this. Print is not a recommended command, or you can't able to print anywhere in Azure Data Factory, I suppose. So basically I'm telling this variable concept from the programming perspective. So now I get the new file name. Instead of directly putting the customer into customer target, I can simulate a new file name using the variables here. This is the whole point I'm trying to make here. So what we are going to do today is, like, using a variable, we will try to load two tables in a loop, and the variable value will be passed into your target table creation. That's what we are going to see today. So before jumping into demo, let's try to understand what different types of variables are allowed in Data Factory. It allows string values, boolean, array of values, as well as the integer. These are the data types supported by a variable. I'm into Data Factory now. What we are going to do here right now is, we have lookup activity that loads data from one database, that is from staging. We have two tables here, that is exchange rate and test, and try to load it in our target. The target is empty here. So while loading it, I don't just need to load. Let's try to run this one as such, what it does, right? Then we will try to add the variable concept here. So right now, while I'm testing, I use certain variables there. Forget about it. Right now I'm trying to load two tables from my source to target with the same name. Let's try to check it out. Whether the data came in here or not. Yes, there are two tables appear here in our target. You can check the data as well. It is same in our source. So right now, instead of storing the target tables with rate, I just want to amend some more characters. Let's simply to put underscore test, right? So go to here. I can add variable, right? So for that, set variable. Then you can link this one, because while it is executing, if the for loop is also executed, that create confusion. So create some dependency here. Now go here and you can use the already created variable, or you can create a new variable. For time for your understanding, I will create the new variable here. So name should be specified. I will say demo where, and it should let it be string. You can also pass different data types, as I said before: string, boolean, array, and integer. For this example, we'll stick to string. Let's do a demo variable. Now as I said, we will try to amend some text here. It can be get date in our, as we said in previous example. Right now I'm allocating just a underscore test. So this is the variable. So basically it's a hard-coded value. Instead of this, assume from your parent pipeline certain values are coming as a parameter, and you need to compute in your child pipelines, right? In those cases you can do some dynamic contents as well. So I don't want to do anything over here, just have a default value. For you can also write any dynamic content. Now going to this for loop, what our intention is, we need to add at the instead of this direct tables from the source, in target I want to amend underscore test. So let's go to our target table and start writing the concatenate option. Concat, this is where you can write the options here, variables, close it. I hope it is not appearing because of the syntax error. Now it will start appearing. variables. This is demo variable. That's it. Is there an error? Concat item dot variable. Okay, I think some bracket is missing. Yeah, this is the syntax. Now take this copy, and also I can make use of this variable. See, I can directly put that value over here, right? For your understanding how you can use the variable as well, right? That is the whole point I'm trying to convey, because there are certain calculations you need to do before this for each loop, then you can use this variables. That is the whole point. So let's try to run this now. Let's go and check the target. For time being, let's see here. You can see the output here, underscore test is the value, and you can see there is a copy data is going on. Let's wait for it to succeed. Yes, there you go. Now we have created 2 more tables with the underscore test. So this will also have 3 records similar to the exchange rate. So I hope you understand the concept of variable here. It's very pretty straightforward. There are other use cases you can use this variable for troubleshooting purpose as well. Let's try to check it out. Like I mean, I'm not going to demonstrate. Let's see, like if you want to see how this dynamic content is generated, you can use this dynamic content in your variables over here in front of this particular task. Let's assume in for each loop you have multiple tasks ahead, but every time that dynamic content is failing, you no need to wait that task to be completed. You just put the set variables in the beginning, then you can check that value and disable this one. So for every time for each loop task is executing, you can view that values. So there are a lot of use cases for this variable. I will leave it with you for you to explore, but you can use this variable for using our. I'm going to talk about what are triggers or how to schedule your pipelines in Azure Data Factory. Let's start to understand with types of triggers available in Azure Data Factory. There is schedule trigger, tumbling window, storage events, and custom events. When you talk about schedule trigger, you specify one hourly. Let's say I mean you want to schedule one pipeline at 8 a.m. daily, then you specify 8 a.m. then this is the time I want to schedule on a daily basis. That's it. Then tumbling window, it's a heavyweight scheduling functionality that comes with other dependencies checks, and also it comes with certain windows you need to run. Those kind of stats will be available in the tumbling window. I will make a separate video on this. Let's move on to the third one, storage events, meaning like when a blob is created, when you're trying to load from one place to another, when a new file is created in a blob or file is deleted, then you want to trigger, then you can use the storage events. Apart from all these three, we have a custom events. When any other events happening that you can configure using custom events, we can also trigger. So for our today's video, we'll focus on the schedule triggers. The data factory now, whereas we have one pipeline that I have recently created. This is for creating the triggers here, right? So this pipeline purpose is to load the data from our source from exchange it and load it into my staging DB that is available here. I have run twice so that you got the data over here, 2 records over here. Now let's go and check it out, how to schedule this on a daily basis. For that, in the pipeline, you open a pipeline, there is option called trigger. There is option trigger now as well as new and edit. Let's try to create one. Choose a trigger. I want to create a new trigger 2 instead of that daily schedule exchange, right, spelling incorrect, exchange rate. There you go. Now as I said, this is the first type. There are other types over here. We are going to demonstrate the schedule start date is today, and I'm in UAE, so let it be here. Current timing is 2:46. Let's try to schedule around 2:48, right, so that we can wait every, not a minute, it should be days, and I should have every 1 days, right, and it should be 14 and minutes should be 48. Let's do 49 because it has to be published. Once you provide this information, right, then you can click on OK. Ensure that we have published the data. There you go. So we have created one trigger now that will run on 2:49. Let's now, this is got published, and where you can monitor it, publish completed. Now you can go and check it out over here, the monitor and the trigger runs. Okay, let's try to refresh this one. Once it becomes 2:49, there will be a trigger will be appearing. Let's wait for a minute. There you go. Now you can see when the time hits, the daily schedule exchange rate that just now we created has been triggered. Now the trigger is successful. The job may be failure or it can be success. Okay, this is just a trigger runs. Now let's go and check the pipeline runs. Just now it has triggered like 2:49 and 19 seconds. If you see here, maybe database is not accessible. You can see here the new entry has been created. Yesterday I ran twice, so this is the new entry, right? So this is how we got the data right now. So this is how you can able to trigger your pipelines. If you like, the data engineer and data analyst, the most demanding skill for the last decade, and it's going to continue in this decade as well. And it is not only demanding, it is well paid job as well. If you want to be a data engineer or data analyst, you are working in some other industry, you want to transition it, or if you are a student or fresher, you want to start your career in this domain, and you don't know what skills or tools required, why those skills are required, and where to start. We are going to demonstrate in this video. Welcome to Analytics with Nags. Let's start with the salary, because you should know what salary you're going to get in this field. So if you are from India, and a data analyst for entry level will get somewhere around 3 lakhs to 10 lakhs, and a senior member, most probably they will become a team leader, they will get around 8 lakhs to 25 lakhs. It comes to a data engineer, 4 lakhs to 20 lakhs in a junior role, and 10 lakhs to 35 lakhs. This is the salary range. There can be some outliers, like someone who gets 50-60 lakhs in a senior role, either in data engineer or in data analyst. Somewhere they will get 30-40 lakhs. That is outliers. We are not talking about the outliers, we are talking about the average income. And you can see in the United States it is 50 to 120k for data analyst junior role and 90k to 170k in the senior team lead role, and data engineers will get 60 to 140 and senior 120 to 200k. So this is the salary range of data engineer and data analyst. By this time you might have decided you should become a data engineer, but my personal preference is data analyst. Let me try to answer this at the end of this video. So I use this website to get this data, that is Glassdoor, PayScale, and you can use these job search site like Indeed, Naukri, LinkedIn. This will be really helpful while you are searching for the job. Let's try to start with what skills and tools required to become a data analyst. First important skill is SQL or database, DBMS. It can be any SQL. You can use Microsoft SQL or Oracle or PLSQL or MySQL, whatever it can be. SQL is the base. Next skill set, reporting tool. I prefer Power BI. That is why I mentioned it. If you are using Tableau, ClickView, anything is fine, but you should have any reporting tool. Modeling skills. Basically, it's all about how you design the tables, star schema, fact, dimensions, you create measures. All this comes with the modeling skill. Then greater visualization. Basically, it is all about storytelling. You need to use right visuals to get right answers, right? You need to project use cases in a proper way. You need to know appropriate visuals. So these are the skill set required to become a data analyst. Let's try to check it out. What are the skills required for a data engineer? SQL, again SQL, yes, of course, SQL is universal. And big data technologies, basically you need to understand about different types of data, structured, unstructured, semi-structured, and streaming, all other kinds of stuffs. Based on the different types of data, you need to know about it and what tools to handle those types of data. And the storage like ADLS, Hadoop, distributed file systems, big data, all other technologies. Then Databricks, a Spark, it's a cluster processing to process all your big data load. To handle your big data load, you need some clusters. Of course, you need to know a Python, a programming language that is used to handle a lot of data wrangling, and you need to do a lot of other stuffs in the notebooks if you are using Databricks, so you should know Python. The mandatory for a data engineer is to have some ETL tool. It can be Data Factory or any other tool. Mostly I'm talking about the Microsoft related stuffs. If you are familiar with Amazon, the Glue, Amazon Glue is the ETL tool, and all other stuffs are similar. I mean, the same open source technologies you can use in Amazon as well. So these are the skill set, and we have talked about both the skill set. Let's try to understand why those skills are required, right? See, I told some skills for data analyst and some skills for data engineer. Why those skills? In order to understand why those skills and what role they play, we need to understand the entire architecture of data warehouse. Basically, we have data in different sources. It can be different varieties as well. So we cannot generate reports on top of these systems, because you need to report from different places. So you need to have a common place. So you will bring all your data. This job is done by Data Factory, any other ETL tool generally. So you will store it somewhere, and then you will do the modeling and reporting. This is the typical architecture. So where does these two roles play? Basically, data engineer works completes over here, and data analyst works over here. So it is not a thumb rule, all the data engineers do only this and data analyst will do only this. Sometimes data engineer also create a Power BI report. This data analyst also work on small data engineering activities as well. It purely depends upon the organization you work on, but this is the general rule. And it is not always the architecture whatever we showed will be followed everywhere. Let's say, like, instead of the cloud technologies, your source system, everything in SQL, then people also go just simply like in database as well. Instead of storing in big data or Hadoop distributed file system or ADLS, they just use the database as well. In this approach, data engineer works are very minimal. The data analyst or whoever has a basic understanding about data factory, they can able to achieve their end objective. So from here you don't need to use SSAS, analyst service, you can directly connect to Power BI. This is the minimalist architecture of your data analytics. So then where does the data engineer play a major role? Let's assume you have a complex architecture like this, where your data needs to be ingested and you need to maintain different layers. This is called a medallion architecture, and where you maintain your data in a bronze, silver, gold. This is not the session to explain this. So this is pretty much a complex architecture that requires big data processing technologies, and this is where the data engineers play a major role over here. They will design how this data should be transitioned into different areas on incremental basis, and they will configure these clusters, and they will provision all the tools required for the data scientist, and they will monitor this. Let's assume your organization has 100 plus pipelines, and you have multiple sources of data. Let's assume 50 sources of data. You need to ingest and monitor it. You need different monitoring tools as well. So here the data engineers roles are very crucial, and they need to understand different technologies and tools. So this is what data engineers do, and data analysts, as usual, they will generate the reports from once the data is available for them. So I hope now you understand why those skills and tools are required. Where to study? Of course, if you are looking for data analyst, congratulations, you have everything you have got in analytics with YouTube channel, where you can learn SQL and Power BI and visualizations all together in the channel. And if you are a data engineer, work in progress, it is not complete. I cannot say all the tools that we have just now seen is available in this channel, and of course which has almost a 50% of content you can kickstart with. So this is all about where you can start. This channel also contains Power BI, MSBI and fundamentals of Azure. You can utilize this free content, share this channel. So apart from this, is there any other sources? I will leave it to you guys where to study. Like, you can recommend in the comments if you have personally benefited from those channels or any other websites that you prefer to share with the community. Please comment below. That will be helpful for many students or aspiring data analysts or data engineers. So key takeaway from this video is like, SQL is universal. You need to know multiple skills and tools, and data engineers have more skills required than data analysts. This is why I told in the first slide of my video, like I prefer data analyst, which is easier to start with if you are starting your career compared to data engineer, because if you have seen the architecture earlier, how complex it is when you deal with, you need to learn a lot of technologies, lot of tools, and the learning curve is very long, whereas in compared to the data analyst, that is what my preference is. It is up to individual's decision. You are free to decide whatever path you want to choose. And do remember that data is asset. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and comment below for query.